you're in your 20s, Bangkok is the best place to be right now. Either there or Miami, whichever or. And today I'm just going to be helping you get set up with your life in Bangkok, Thailand, and how to set up the home base. Because the goal isn't to live in Bangkok your entire life. It's just to go whenever you're in your 20s, just kind of getting yourself up in the world and kind of moving up. This is a really great place to be, surrounded by really ambitious people, living cheaply, getting really good health, good gym time, being able to just focus on what you need to do in order to take that next step in your life. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and hop straight into it. We'll go ahead and ask you a few questions, and that is, are you pretty much tired where you are at the moment? Are you stuck living with your parents, living with your roommates in a small dorm, not being able to do what you actually want to do? And maybe all of your friends are actually holding you back from the man you could be, and they're holding you back from your full potential. And you just have that need, you feel that need that you need to change your environment and network in order to kind of take your life to the next level. Well, if you do have these big goals, Bangkok is definitely the place to be. So I'll quickly just kind of show you how to set up the home base and get started. That way you won't come here and make the same exact mistakes that I made in the past. And I'll kind of just go over the quick problems that come with moving to Bangkok. And that is that it is a very crazy city. It's very chaotic. And you'll just have to learn to love the chaos and embrace it instead of just complain all the time. And you will get eaten and spat back out if you aren't careful. You have to make sure to kind of keep your guard up and just kind of keep a little bubble around you and kind of think of what others are going to do when you're driving on a bike, or maybe when you're in the city at night. You just got to be very careful of where you are and who's around you. And there are around 12 million people in Bangkok alone, so it is a pretty dense city with tons of people, tons of opportunities. And around 80 to 90% of them don't speak English, so there's a bit of a language barrier, but there's a lot of foreigners here who you're trying to connect with anyway, so shouldn't be that big of a problem. And it is just you versus the world out here. It's not going to be like you're going to be coming here with 12 friends or family members. It's probably most likely just going to be you on that plane on the way to Bangkok, and it'll just be you versus everyone else in Bangkok. So I'll just pretty much make it very easy for you to actually set up. That way you're able to kind of know exactly what to do when you get here. But before we get into that, I kind of want to quickly go over my first time I came to Bangkok, and I experienced the following things. So first off, I got scammed, spent like $3,000 on a taxi ride, which is around $120 or something. So it was a very expensive taxi ride. It wasn't the best quality either, so I definitely overpaid. And it wasn't that far of a ride. It was like 20 minutes or less. And I also spent way too much on food. I spent like maybe $90 a day on food because I just thought baht was like monopoly money. I didn't care like how much I spent. And I went broke pretty fast. I got down to my last 20 baht, which you can do the calculation yourself. And that was a pretty tough time, but of course you got to get back in the fight and get back to kicking, fighting until you're back up again. And I also got lost on motorbike for around 4 to 5 hours just driving around the city because my phone died, and I have a motorbike now, so I mean that was just kind of gruesome. And I had to ask like 10 or 11 Thai locals until I found one who spoke a little bit of English, and I never thought I would never find a foreigner ever again within those 5 hours, but yeah. I was also very clueless on how to get set up as well. I wasn't able to figure out the first time I came here like what I needed to do in what order to actually be able to make it as easy as possible for me to live here. So now that I actually know and have experienced the worst part of actually coming here, and like without it being organized, I kind of just organized it for you guys. And let's go ahead and get you set up. So first off, before you even come, you're going to need to get the tools of Thailand. First off, you're going to need to download Bolt and Grab for traveling by bike or car. So this is basically like the Uber of Thailand. You can order a bike or car for very cheap. It will be like $3, $6 or less, depending on of course, the distance, and if you choose a bike or car, or a party bus if you're out with some friends on Monday night or Friday night. The days don't really matter here. It always feels like a Saturday. And you also need to kind of download Lazada for ordering cool things. It's basically just the Thailand Amazon. And of course you need Google Translate because of the language barrier. And for the health, you just want to go ahead and download Paleo Robbie just for the best quality food available for you. As well as downloading a currency converter app to make things a lot easier for you. That way when you have to pay rent or maybe you're at a restaurant and you need to see the exact amount of money you need to pay, you can just kind of use that app to see like how much you actually need to transfer. And Line will also be very good as well because that's basically like the iMessage of Thailand. And that's where you'll be communicating with the girls that you match with on Tinder. And we'll go ahead and kind of go from the beginning of right when you get here to like where I am now. So let's just say day 0, you just landed in Thailand. You already booked your ticket, got here, and you got your tourist visa stamp on arrival. Then what you want to do is use the Bolt or Grab app. Go to your hotel or Airbnb. That way you can kind of just rest up, recover, rejuvenate, take it all in. But make sure at the airport or after you go to your hotel to set up a SIM card if you don't have international service. That way you can kind of go around places without needing Wi-Fi. And after you kind of rest up, rejuvenate, get yourself together, day 1 to 3 will be the process of finding you an apartment that you love for 6 to 12 months. And this will be very easy to do. There's plenty to choose from. You can find a very luxurious apartment that suits your standards and what you actually want inside of an apartment. And make sure it's not too far from the city center. It doesn't have to be smack dab in the middle of the city for it to be a good apartment. Mine's around 12 to 15 minutes around from the center, so there's not too much traffic. It's pretty good vibes. It's not too busy, so it's kind of like a chill city spot. It's not too busy all the time, and you can kind of do whatever you want, and you can drive around, have some fun. And I like that a lot better than just sitting in traffic all day. But the city center is where all the networking and action happens, so it is very crucial for you to actually kind of stay a little bit close to the center. That way when there's a networking event or maybe you want to hang out with some friends or go to the party or whatever, that way you're pretty close and you don't have to drive like an hour or more in traffic to actually get to the city center. And these apartments are very easy to find on Facebook and Fazwaz. Just kind of type in 1-bedroom apartment. It's very simple. It's not like a rocket science thing you need to do. Just make sure not to get scammed by the agents or whatnot. I haven't experienced this myself, but I've just heard a few stories of this happening, and it's pretty complicated. Just make sure you're just aware and feeling out the situation. And then all you have to do is sign the contract, big boy. So after you find your apartment and set it up for 6 to 12 months, you'll be setting up your long-term visa. And there's a few options you can do here. You have the education visa, Muay Thai visa, elite visa. There's a few different ones. And you just got to know the right people in order to find the right one that actually fits with what you're looking for. And this is why you move to Bangkok, so you can actually meet the right people that can help you find the right visa. And right now I'm currently using the 15-month education visa, and it's kind of complicated, but once you kind of understand how to set it up, it's pretty easy to understand. Otherwise, if you don't set up this 15-month visa and get this like kind of long-term thing, you will have to do border runs and van trips, which is a very big headache. It's super inconvenient. And in the end, the price of the visa will equal up to the price of the border runs and van trips. So I think it's well worth it to get the long-term visa if you can afford it. And you also do have to deal with immigration as well, which is also another big headache. They're going to be asking you questions, drilling into your heart, like, why are you here? What are you doing in our country? All that stuff. And you just want to be able to kind of just stay away from that and stay chill and just get that long-term visa. That way you don't have to really worry about that anymore. And the visa, the 15-month or long-term visa is one of the best investments you can make. it just kind of clears your head of having to worry about when's the next border run, what country do I have to go to next, setting up the plane tickets, setting up hotels, accommodations, food, worrying about the currency. It's all this big headache. Just make sure that if you have enough, invest in a visa. That way you can just have like stress-free about your passport and you're chilling for at least a year and a few months. So now that we have your apartment and you have your visa, so now you can just, you're good to go. We're going to help you set up your gym and health setup, which is the most important things that come after living and being able to actually live here legally. So now that you're settled in with a place to sleep and live for at least a year, we'll be helping you set up the important shit, which will help you level you up in this year. So you can easily find a gym near you using Google Maps. You just type in gym. I mean, hopefully I didn't have to tell you that, but all you have to do is go to the said gym and you can look on the kind of menu. They have like the listings of the membership prices. And mine was around $19,900 for the year and bought. So it was only like $540. So it's not expensive at all. So like $1.40 a day. And that way, this is really extremely beneficial and a worthy investment, because if you somehow get fucked up in life, say you lose your job, you lose all your money, and you're kind of down bad for a little bit, you still have the gym access for the year. So that way you can still keep your health all the way up, because as long as you have your health and fitness, you can always come back. If you're fat and you can't really stay control of your body, you're not going to be able to control your life. That way you kind of have the gym for like a whole year. And for the health aspect as well, Paleo Robbie is where you can order the highest quality steak, chicken, and eggs available in Thailand, with literally everything delivered right to your doorstep. You don't have to waste time going to the store, picking up the items, looking at them like, oh, this steak looks good. No, that one looks good. You can just kind of pick them up online, and then they'll be delivered right to you. That way you can save yourself some time, and you can just kind of focus on things that actually increase your income instead of wasting time at the grocery store. So I'll kind of just quickly go over the pricing of everything that you need to take into account when kind of budgeting out moving to Thailand and setting up your life in Bangkok. So with the ticket, I have no idea where you live. You could live in Antarctica, United States, Canada. I don't know where you are at the moment. Just kind of look on Google Flights and see which one's best for you. And mine was like only $600. It wasn't that bad, and I booked a one-way. And with the apartment, they can range anywhere from $100,000 to $12,000 monthly, with the super high-end ones in the smack dab middle of the city. And the one I had before this apartment was only $330, and this one's like $540. So it was a bit of an upgrade with this one. And with the 15-month visa with the education one, it is $1,800, and I still think it's well worth investing in that than just going on the border runs, van trips. It's just saving you a big headache, and now you can just live here and not have to worry about going to other countries and resetting your visa every 2 months. And with the gym, for me, it was $540 yearly, and you could probably find one cheaper or maybe a little bit more expensive. Just really depends on the location and the actual gym itself. And with Paleo Robbie, just ordering food and getting it delivered to you, it's around $250 monthly. Could be a little bit less, could be a little bit more, but I'm on a bulk right now, so I do need a little bit more food to kind of intake in order to get my weight up. And this is an optional kind of option if you're up for that thrill, that risk to fully experience Bangkok and you want to rent a motorbike to swerve through traffic. Mine's around $139 monthly, and it's only 155cc, nothing crazy. But if you got anything more than 600cc, it's not even worth it because the traffic is pretty crazy. And with the extra kind of stuff, it's around like $500. That's just for like going out, networking, cigars, maybe eating out with a girlfriend. Probably around like $500 a month, so it's not too bad. So the total monthly expenses kind of just end up at $1,431. It could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less depending on the month and how crazy I want to ball out, but it's not too bad at all, especially compared to like America or the UK, wherever you're from. Like this could be maybe a week for you or 2 weeks. It just really depends, but yeah, I'll quickly go over the summary and then we can end it there. So first off, you need to get here, and then you just need to follow this setup. It's a pretty simple guide. And then you're good to go for a year to level up yourself and your life. And you can just kind of focus and excel in all areas of life that you're kind of lacking in. That way, when you come to Thailand, you should be like a pawn. You should be maybe a rook. But when you leave, you should just be a king. And that's kind of the goal of actually coming to Bangkok, Dubai, Miami, is to go there like a weaker version of you and leaving as the strongest man in the world. And the fifth kind of step is don't be a pussy. Don't book a ticket and back out last second. You want to follow all the way through and stick to your word. Otherwise, a lot of people are going to lose respect for you, and you just got to be able to burn the boat, go all in, and don't stop until you win. And if you do need any help with any of these things, comment down below or hit me up on Instagram at Ryan Little. And make sure to like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll be posting a little bit more videos soon. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.